and awake, it's a new day. Nothing holding me back and I'm okay. Open heart, open mind, never falling behind. Seeing love in the path that I've chosen. I believe in the places I'm going, cause I know that I'm free. And I'm starting to be a little bit curious.
As the world turns and it spins, never let your searchlight go dim. Be a little bit curious. Sky is the limit above the roof, but nothing is more important than the youth. Damn, it's not always as clear cut as it looks. Some of the greatest truths will never make it in books. So whether your classes are on computers or taught by a tutor, you gotta do it for a better future.
Cause I hold the key. The future is wherever I will be. So we go with it and we grow from it. This is a dream. So I will take the opportunity. And we go with it and we grow from it.
Highs and lows, wherever I go, my future I'm in control. Yeah, yeah. Let's never get old. Our stories unfold. We're breaking the mold, yeah. Over and over and over, a little bit curious.
As the world turns and it spins, never let your searchlight go dim. Be a little bit
curious.
Sky is the limit above the roof, and nothing is more important than the youth. Damn, in trying times, inquiring minds will find designs to brighten that light that shines. Load shedding raps, you need to black out for now until you're standing on the stage throwing caps and gowns.
Cause I hold the key. The future is wherever I will be. So we go with it and we grow from it. This is a dream. So I will take the opportunity. And we go with it and we grow from it.
Ikambalam, liyaqhakazela ingqondo yam, ishapi yasingela, mizamo yasekhaya, andisodelela, dikhuthele, dikwazi uzimela.
Spread love across the African continent, cause we know that's where the struggle is prominent. The mind is a weapon and you better sharpen it. Dreams don't pay bills, better get a scholarship or give me the finance. I'm gonna buy land or own an island just because I can. Travel my mind map, Egypt to Thailand, and see the whole new world like a blind man.
I see you, you see me, we see dreams. I see you, you see me, we see dreams. I see you, you see me, we see dreams. I see you, you see me, we see dreams.
Cause I hold the key. The future is wherever I will be. So we go with it and we grow from it. This is a dream. So I will take the opportunity. And we go with it and we grow from it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Grade 11 Matric Prep Information Evening. We're so excited to have you here as we take a step towards preparing for Matric 2025. Tonight's session is designed to give you the information you need to prepare for a successful and balanced Matric year. Whether you're a learner or guardian, we want to ensure that you feel informed, confident, and ready for what's to come. Let's dive right in, starting with introducing our speakers for this evening. I'm Mrs. Tessa Fenter, and I'm the Executive Head of School. Tonight, we'll provide you with important information from our Faculty Manager, Ms. Manda Russell, Ms. Kelly, our Academic Support Lead, Ms. Randall, our Head of Wellbeing and Engagement, and our incredible support coaches, Luletu, Eric, and Bongeka, as well as our Student Success Lead, Sabrina. I will now hand over to Bongeka to take us through our first agenda topic.
Thank you, Ms. Fenta. The grade 12 year moves at a rapid pace. It often feels like a stick of dynamite, with coursework wrapping up by August, followed by preliminary exams, and then the final exam stretch beginning immediately afterwards in October or November. On the screen, you will see an outline per term of what you can expect to occur. Please note that this is an estimated outline, and we encourage you to refer to email communication received throughout the year with regards to specific dates. Before matric, we encourage the following. Ensure your learner has a valid ID or begins the process of applying for one. Learners can start reading the set workbooks and get a head start as soon as the stationery list is released. Sit with your learners and help them research life after matric. Encourage your learner to set up their productive workspace. In term 1, your learner will start with the academic content for the grade 12 year and write cycle tests using the Invigilator app. The concession application notice for Matric 2025 exams will occur during this period. In term 2, national benchmark testing registrations occur, and learners will write mid-term cycle tests and mid-year exams using the Invigilator app. The concession applications and exam registration fees will be due. Towards the middle to end of term 2, a due date will be communicated for English and Afrikaans orals, which are required to be moderated by Sakai. Guardians will receive a venue preference form where they can indicate venue preferences for their learners' end-of-year exams and confirm their physical address. In addition, from June onwards, UCT Online High School will begin collecting certified learner IDs from Guardians, which are required to be submitted to Sakai. In term 3, your learner will complete their academic content, their grade 12 academic content, and write mid-term cycle tests and preliminary exams using the Invigilator app. Towards the end of term 3, Guardians will receive their learner's entry schedule, which indicates their learner's allocated exam venue, and will have one final chance to review their learner's details. In term 3, we kick off the beginning of preparation for final NSC exams with Matric Success preparation classes. In the final term of the year, our faculty team will host Matric masterclasses, and we will release the Matric yearbook and host the end-of-year celebration session. From October, your learner will begin writing their final NSC exams in person at their allocated venue. Amidst all this, it is crucial to maintain balance. While academic focus is important, learners should also prioritize their well-being and make sure that they are taking care of themselves during that time. Staying connected with friends, taking part in extracurricular activities, and setting aside some time for relaxation are all key to managing the pressures of matric. I will now hand over to Eric to take us through our next topic.
Thank you and good evening. As you prepare for Matric 2025, there are several key steps to take. We've put together a checklist to guide you through this preparation period. Apply for ID. Learners will need a certified copy of their ID document to register for exams and access exam venues. If your learner hasn't applied for their ID yet, this should be a priority. It is a necessary document for the final exam process. Start setworks. Getting a head start on the setworks now can give your learners an advantage. Familiarizing themselves with the literature or other setworks will alleviate some of the pressure next year. Set up the workspace. Having a well-organized functional workspace at home is essential. Make sure the learner has a dedicated space that's free from distractions and conducive to focused study. Update physical address. If your address has changed, it's important to inform the school as soon as possible. This is particularly important for any exam correspondence and venue allocations. Subject changes. If your learner is considering changing any subjects, remember that the final deadline for grade 12 subject changes is 9 December 2024. No further changes will be allowed after this date. Life after matric. Finally, now is the time to start thinking about life after matric. Encourage your learner to explore different paths, whether that's tertiary education, gap years, or starting a career. It's never too early to begin planning for the future. Completing the checklist will ensure that you're setting the foundation for a successful matric year. I will now hand over to Leletu to take you through subject changes.
Good evening, everyone. It's important to remember that subject changes in grade 12 should not be taken lightly. Any decision to change a subject can have a significant impact on your learner's future prospects and overall matric performance. The deadline for subject changes is the 9th of December 2024. This deadline is strict and no changes will be accepted after this date. If you're considering a subject change, make sure that you submit the necessary documentation well before the deadline. The required documents include a formal letter of motivation explaining the reason for the subject change, the completed subject change form, and the learner's most recent report. Please note that the following subjects cannot be taken for the first time in grade 12: accounting, physical science, life science, computer application technology, history, visual arts, information technology, and maths core. We encourage learners and guardians to think carefully before making any changes and reach out to their support coach if needed. I will now hand over to Ms. Russell to take you through the academic focus points.
Thank you, Leletu, and good evening, guardians and learners. Academics are, of course, the main focus during matric. Here are a few key points to keep in mind. It is important to understand that the National Senior Certificate, abbreviated as NSC, is a 3-year qualification. This means that the work learners did in grade 10 and 11 lays the foundation for matric. As learners move into grade 12, they will be expected to apply the knowledge and skills they've developed over the past 2 years. This often leads to a shift in performance as they move from building foundational knowledge to demonstrating mastery. Guardians can help by encouraging learners to review previous work, focus on their weak areas, and keep a consistent study routine. The earlier they address any gaps in understanding, the more prepared they will be for matric. Let's go over a few important reminders. The first one is live session attendance. At UCT OHS, we use a flipped classroom approach. This means that live sessions are designed for discussion, questions, and reinforcement of the content learners have already covered by themselves. It is crucial for learners to attend all live sessions with subject specialists to maximize their understanding. School-based assessments, which is abbreviated as SBAs, these form a significant portion of the final matric results. It is essential that all SBAs are submitted, as failure to do so may result in the withholding of final matric results. Learners need to complete all SBAs independently and on time. This not only impacts their final results, but also their academic development. SBAs are a vital part of matric and help learners practice the skills that they will need for their final exams. Striving for a stable SBA. While it may be tempting to use AI tools or notes during tests, we strongly advise against it. Inflated results can lead to unrealistic expectations and challenges when it comes to final exams. Instead, learners should aim for steady and honest progress throughout the year. A reminder that SBAs contribute up to 25% of the final mark, and should there be discrepancies between a learner's SBA and exam mark, this may lead to a Sakai adjustment or even the entire disregarding of an SBA. Next, I would like to take the opportunity to provide you with some insight into Advantage Learn, which is one of our complementary service partners and a wonderful resource for learners. They offer 2 offerings, which we will quickly look at. Firstly, Advantage Learn Further Studies serves as a unique opportunity for learners to improve their marks in English, maths, and physics and distinguish themselves, bridging the gap between high school and university competencies. Engaging in further studies subjects allows learners to delve deeply into their preferred subjects, cultivating critical thinking skills and bolster their university applications for competitive degrees. Secondly, and specifically for grade 12 learners, there is Advantage Learn NBT Prep. NBT is short for National Benchmark Testing. Advantage Learn NBT Prep is a comprehensive assessment designed to evaluate a learner's academic readiness for university. This test comprises 2 3-hour exams, AQL, focusing on academic and quantitative literacy, and MAT, concentrating on mathematics. Universities utilize NBT results to gauge the additional support a learner may require and to determine the success of their university application. Adequate preparation for these pivotal tests is crucial, and this is exactly why Advantage Learn NBT Prep might be for you. Please be aware that this is solely the NBT Prep course. Booking the actual NBT examination is the responsibility of the guardian and learner and should be done well in advance of university applications and deadlines. More information about Advantage Learn can be found on the Info Hub or via the complimentary Service Partners tab on your portal. I will now hand over to Ms. Venter to take you through examination governing bodies.
Thank you so much, Ms. Russell. As Ms. Russell mentioned, I'll be taking you through the examination governing bodies in South Africa and provide you with a little bit more insight into the examination body that we are registered with. In South Africa, we have 3 main examination bodies. These are the Department of Basic Education, known as DBE, the Independent Examinations Board, known as the IEB, and the South African Comprehensive Assessment Institute, known as Sakai. UCT Online High School is a registered distance provider through Sakai. Thus, our learners write their final NSC exams through Sakai. Sakai follows the CAPS curriculum, just like the DBE and IEB. Umalusi sets and monitors standards for general and further education and training in South Africa, and Umalusi is the body that ensures the quality and standards of these examinations provided by Sakai. It's important to know that while examination bodies might be different, the content and standards are aligned with national expectations, ensuring that learners are well prepared for their future endeavors. In fact, no matric results may be released by any examination body without final approval from Umalusi. I'd now like to speak to the exam fees for 2025. Exam fees for 2025 are estimated to be approximately 14,000 Rand. These fees are separate from tuition costs, and so we encourage guardians to plan and budget accordingly. It is also important to note that there may be ad hoc additional charges charged by specific examination venues, dependent on a learner's concession requirements and whether they have practical components in their subjects. Invoices for these fees will be issued by the 1st of February 2025, and payments will need to be made by the 31st of March 2025. If you have any questions about exam fees, please feel free to reach out to our finance department for more information. I will now hand back to Ms. Russell to take you through the topic of the final end-of-year examinations.
Thank you, Ms. Venter. The final NSC exams will be written in person at Sakai-approved venues across the country. Guardians will have the opportunity to select 3 venue preferences, but please note that final allocations will depend on availability and capacity. We cannot guarantee placement at specific venues. When selecting venues, it is critical that you engage with the list carefully and ensure that you select 3 different venues that are accessible for your learner to write at. If you are traveling to a venue, make sure to plan ahead for accommodation and travel arrangements. International learners in particular should wait for venue confirmation before making any bookings. We'll keep you updated with more information as we approach the exam period. The process is well structured and will ensure that learners and guardians are supported throughout. To help you stay organized, we've created a map to illustrate the road to end-of-year exams. This roadmap outlines key administrative milestones throughout the matric year to the final exams. It is very important that you and your learners stay on top of all your emails, as there are a number of important administrative tasks which are required ahead of the end-of-year exams. Staying on top of these milestones will help ensure that you and your learner are well prepared and confident as you progress through the administrative tasks this year. I will now hand over to Ms. Kelly to take us through concessions.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Hello, Guardians. I will be speaking to you about concessions, which are a very important consideration for our learners with barriers to learning as they prepare for the 2025 matric exams. Concessions are support structures put in place to assist learners with specific challenges during assessments. These are vital accommodations that help create a more equitable testing environment for learners facing barriers to learning. There are various different types of concessions available to support learners during assessments. These include concessions such as extra time, a spelling concession, a reader, and a scribe. But what exactly are barriers to learning? These can include learning difficulties such as dyslexia or dyscalculia, physical disabilities, visual impairments, hearing impairments, or medical conditions. A barrier to learning needs to be declared by a health professional. This could be an educational psychologist, occupational therapist, doctor, physiotherapist, audiologist, or speech therapist, depending on the learner's type of barrier to learning. If your learner requires a concession for the 2025 NSC matric examinations, it's crucial to meet the deadlines to ensure the necessary concessions are approved for your learner by Sakai. The final deadline for concession applications for all matric learners is expected to be the beginning of April 2025. However, this date is based on the 2024 timeline and will be confirmed once we receive the 2025 timeline from Sakai. Guardians must please inform their support coach in writing by the 1st of April 2025 if they wish to apply for concessions. This will allow us to meet the Sakai concession application deadlines. If your learner has had their concessions approved in grade 10 or 11 by Sakai, they do not need to reapply in matric. It's important to note that some concessions may incur additional fees for the final NSC examinations. As a school, we are unable to provide the exact amount or cost guidelines for all NSC concession fees. These amounts are determined by the chief invigilator at your learner's examination venue. These additional fees include the rent of a separate venue for use during the examination period and costs related to the additional time at the examination venue. They also include the cost of an additional invigilator in the separate venue as required by Sakai, the cost of a concession assistant, otherwise known as a reader, scribe, or prompter. They also include costs related to the renting of devices, such as a computer if your learner has a typing concession. And then lastly, for the printing of additional question papers for use by the reader or scribe. I will now be handing over to Ms. Randall.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kelly. Finally, let's talk about the importance of balance. As we prepare for Matric 2025, it's crucial to recognize that academic success is just one part of the bigger picture. The demands of the Matric year are intense, and learners often feel the pressure to perform at their peak. However, focusing solely on academics can lead to burnout and a heightened sense of your stress levels. That's why we emphasize an holistic approach to learner support, one that balances academic achievement with emotional well-being and personal growth. An holistic approach focuses on fostering adaptability and self-awareness. We encourage learners to develop coping mechanisms for stress and build positive study habits. We want them to engage in activities that rejuvenate their minds and their bodies, activities such as exercise, mindfulness, and connecting with loved ones. Rest and relaxation should be an integral part of learners' routines, not just a reward for hard work. Creating a support network is crucial. At UCT OHS, our team, including support coaches and the Wellbeing and Engagement team, is dedicated to guiding learners through their Matric year. We work closely with our learners and our guardians to address any signs of stress early on, providing help with time management, emotional support, and having someone to talk to. Balance is key. While we stress the importance of hard work, we certainly advocate for a routine that includes breaks, hobbies, and social interactions. This balanced approach supports both academic success and mental well-being. We also encourage guardians to participate actively, checking in, celebrating successes, and reminding their children that it's okay to take breaks. In conclusion, the Matric year is challenging, but it is manageable. With the right support and balance, learners can navigate it successfully while maintaining their well-being. We are here to provide the tools and guidance that they need, believing that a supported learner is a successful learner. Together, we can ensure that they reach the finish line stronger and more adaptable. I'm now going to hand over to Sabrina.
Thank you to all of our speakers this evening. Each and every one of you has spoken about very important topics, more of which can be found in the Grade 11 Matric Prep Guide, which was shared with our Grade 11 guardians and learners via email yesterday. Please note that during the Grade 12 year, guardians will be invited to termly Guardian Information Evenings, in which we'll cover topics which are relevant to that specific term. That brings us to the end of our presentation, and thank you to all for joining us this evening. We hope that you have found the information helpful and that you're feeling more prepared for the Matric year. Once again, thank you for being here, and we wish you all the best as you prepare for Matric 2025.